Hello, and welcome to our virtual broadcast of the Interactive Requirements Document, aka IRD, presented by James Sheridan, who is aka known as Jedi James. Sometimes he gets promoted to Master Jedi, depending on how well he walks on water that day or uses the Force. James is our SharePoint architect and software engineer for the NA41 and EMI SIG team. He has been part of the DOE and NSA organization since 2011, supporting NA40 and the NTC. Developing software and working with SharePoint since 2003, James has worked with the government agencies at both the federal level and multiple states, in addition to a variety of private industries. Within EMI SIG, James is responsible for the upkeep and maintenance of the EDMS and continues to develop and support new tools to enhance our support of the EMI SIG community. Please use the chat tool on the right to enter any questions you'd like James to address in the Q&A session after his presentation. And now I would like to welcome Master Jedi James to our virtual stage.
Hello, everyone. My name is James Sheridan. I work for NA41 and EMI SIG. I am a software engineer and SharePoint architect. I'm responsible for the EDMS system and for building applications to support NA41 and EMI SIG. I'm here today to talk to you about the interactive requirements document that we have developed to support the community, the emergency management community out in the field, to help stay in compliance with DOE Order 151.1 Delta. As you know, it's been challenging up until this point for emergency managers who are trying to work within the order, understand the order, and work with all the additional supplemental information that's available. That supplemental information comes in the form of FAQs and addendums that come through headquarters. We have the emergency management guide to help provide additional information for staying in compliance. And we have the CRADs, which are coming through to help evaluate the actual compliance of said order. So to help facilitate all of that, what we've done here in the tech team is we've gone through and we've taken the order and we've deconstructed it into a database. We've indexed it, we've set it up so that we can reference it quickly and bring it out in components. We've done the same thing with the emergency management guide, and the folks at PNNL have done the same thing with the CRAD. The FAQ is already set up that way since it was a system within EDMS, so we're able to leverage that capability as well. So what the future looks like for this is now, instead of having binders open on your desk with all of these different things printed out and earmarked and bookmarked, instead we're going to have an IRD interface here within the EDMS that you can launch to directly. This will bring up what you see here on the screen. This is an integrated SharePoint application. It pulls all of its data back from the EDMS and reads it directly into this system. We don't have any external data storage. Everything is live. The advantage to that is as things are changed within the EDMS, within the system that we all know, we'll see the changes reflected here directly. So what this looks like is when you come in here to explore the order, we now have a central interface with the order 151.1D here in the center of the screen. We have an interactive table of contents over on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, we have related elements that, that will show for anything related to the area of the order that you're looking at. Right now, that comes in the form of guide elements and FAQs, and in the future, we'll be bringing in CRAD elements as well. For an example, we can come through here, we can start to scroll through the order. You'll see the table of contents expands and moves with you. As we scroll through here, if we were to come in and stop on a piece, or we can jump to it directly by clicking on it like that. Now we see the related elements over on the right-hand side have changed. So here, for what we see on the screen for attachment 3, we have 10 FAQs and 5 guide elements that are related to this and the surrounding material within the order. You can explore those by expanding the FAQ block here and seeing all of these questions that have been submitted and answered by headquarters. And then you can click on any one of them and bring that information up into a tab here in the center of the screen. Now you can reference the FAQ. and see what information we have available with that. Additionally, if you come up and collapse this, we also have guide elements. Within the guide elements, we can click on any one of those and bring up that guide information directly from the EDMS in here as well. The idea being it's a one-stop shop where you can come, you can look at the order, you can look at the FAQs, you can look at the guides, you can see everything together. To take it further, if you want to make some of your own notes and you want to start tracking things on your own, you can come in and hover over any one of these headings within the order, and there's a little blue plus right there. If you click, or green rather, plus right there, if you click on that, that's going to bring up a note up here at the top, and then you can add a new note related to that section. That's a personal note for you, for your own tracking, so that when you come back in here later, if there's something you want to make sure you remember, you can put it right in here. It'll always be related with that piece. So if I save that now, that's in there for good. I have some other notes up here that I've added, and you can see now those headings are bold and green, which tells me that there's a note that's been added for that. If I were to click on that, it's going to come up and it's going to show me my note there about that. So I can come back, I can review that information. I can change it if I need to, and I can update that. Now, where that really comes into play is if we come in here to the research and notes section. Now I have on the right-hand side here all of these notes that I've created, and I can click on any one of them. It's going to give me the section of the order that it's related to, and it's going to give me my note right there. But more importantly, now it's going to show me the elements that have been directly related with this piece of the order. This is all handled through these bookmarks. You see this A32D, that's the bookmark for that piece of the order. So these two FAQs are specifically related to this piece of the order. If I were to click on one of these now, it's going to open this up in a new tab. Here's all of your FAQ detail related to that. And this, the objective here is to give you an even more thorough opportunity to explore the supplemental information for the piece of the order that you're looking at. We have the same thing here. I'm going to look at some of my other notes here. This one should have some guide elements related to it. Here we go. So you see those expanded down. We have a placeholder here for CRAD. The CRAD information is not being brought in yet. We're still working that process, but that will be available. But in the guide elements here, I can click on this one. It's going to bring up that guide. Oh, good example. It's going to bring up that guide element. You see all the information related to the guide. And even more interesting is we have an attachment that we can bring up and view that attachment. So here we've got a nice little flow chart that's related to the guide right there. So we have this place where we can come look at all of our guide information. We can look at our FAQs. They're coming up here in tabs so that we can keep a hold of them. And within the guide itself, since this is a structured document, we have the opportunity up here to click on these headings and move up a level and look at anything else that's within the document related to that as well. Like if I want to come look at Thyra, because that's complicated, I can come in and read more about the Thyra process. So the research and notes, this is a function that's still under construction, but I think that this is going to be a good opportunity for the user to really track what is important to them, because obviously we don't all need to adhere to the entire order. We just have areas that we focus on. In addition to this, we have a search capability within the system. If you want to do a search directly of the order and look for something like Thyra, we're going to have 7 matches. This is anywhere within the order that the term Thyra appears. And if I come in and I click on that heading on any one of these matches, it's going to bring me back into the primary IRD interface. It will jump the orders directly to that and then load in my related elements over on the right-hand side. So I can start learning about Thyra. I can start bringing up what I need to know about it. Finally, we have a help and support capability within here. This piece is still very much under construction, but we do have the capability to provide feedback. If you come into this interface, you can choose what exactly you're trying to tell us. If it's just general feedback, if you have an idea for a feature, those are my favorite kind of feedback. Or if you have a bug or an error, something that broke, I'd really like to hear about that as well. You can enter that here. You type a message into this box and submit. That's going to write directly back to the EDMS, and then it will alert myself and the rest of the tech team, and we can respond and work with that. We're building these tools in support of the community, and so feedback is critical. We want to make sure that this thing is useful to you, and the more feedback you provide, the better job we can do of that. And so that's our IRD tool. We're very hopeful that this can be useful, that this is something that we can continue to develop and enhance. It's something that we're very excited to roll out, and I believe we've received some positive feedback already. And we're looking forward to hearing from you about it. Thank you.
Thanks, James. I really appreciate that, and I hope our community does as well, as we know the labor of love this tool was. And now I'm going to open it up to some questions. First couple of ones I had, is the IRD available now?
Yes, thank you, Jen, for asking that. We have opened up the IRD as of this morning to all members of the EMI SIG community. You can get to that from the EDMS homepage, and there's a big button right there on the homepage that says IRD on it. You click on that, it's going to bring you right into the interface.
The thing I know JB wants me to ask is there a quick guide for this as well?
Well, as it happens, our quick guide queen cranked one out yesterday, and it's beautiful and brilliant, and it is there available with the rest of them.
All right, good to know. I have a few questions from Attendify. Does the IRD program accept highlighting? Can you highlight, copy, and paste into it or from it?
Well, all of the information in the IRD is text. So you can definitely copy that text. If you're copying a piece of the order or FAQ or guide elements, you would be able to copy those out and paste them into something external. About the only place that you could really paste into the IRD itself would be in the notes section. But this is a web application, so any capability that you would expect from any other web application, you would have in here.
All right. And another question from Jonathan, the same person who asked the last question, and I'm not going to butcher your name, Jonathan. I apologize. Does it support sharing within Teams if you're sharing the notes you have added?
Not at this time. That's honestly something that we didn't consider. I think that's a great idea. Jonathan, I would encourage you to get into the interface and use the feedback section and send that to us as a feature idea. That's something we can work on, and I think that we can incorporate something like that.
Okay. And the last question I have is from Paul Staudenmeyer, also known belovedly as Yoda. Do you see the theme here, folks? When the EMG is finalized, how difficult will it be to update the IRD?
Well, we took great care in this process of curating the data that the IRD uses to populate these various sections. And in doing so, it all reads from the EDMS. It reads from a database that we set up that is the EMG broken down, the current draft version of the EMG. When the EMG is finalized, all we need to do is go through that process again and update those sections if there's anything that changes from the draft, and you will see the change immediately within the IRD itself. So the short answer to that question is not very difficult.
Okay, because you have the force. The force is strong with you. Okay, well, thanks, James, for this, for your time and for this informative presentation. If for some reason you have additional questions and the quick guide does not answer them, please click on James' name below this window and send him an email question or contact him with his other points of contact. Don't forget, complete your survey by clicking on the survey icon just below the description in the virtual meeting app also, in order to receive credit for attending this session. Our next session will be managing a site-wide emergency power shutdown with David Von Dom. Selected from the schedule on the left, or you're always welcome to join another channel to watch an SBX demonstration, attend a workshop, or participate in the user group. Thanks again, everyone. We'll see you later.
Thank you.